Have you ever wondered how a single company could have the power to influence the entire global economy? This company's decisions could lead to a financial collapse. Today we'll dive deep into how BlackRock, a global giant, might be quietly driving us toward an economic disaster. When we think about the global financial system, it's hard to overlook the role of BlackRock. This investment management company has its fingers in nearly every financial pie around the world. BlackRock manages assets worth over $10 trillion. Yes, trillion. And that makes it the largest asset manager on the planet. But the real question is, how does one company wield so much power, and what could happen if this power is misused? To understand that, it's important to look at how interconnected BlackRock is with the global economy. BlackRock isn't just a passive investor, it actively influences policies and decisions at the highest levels. The firm has deep ties with central banks, governments, and corporations around the globe. In fact, BlackRock was instrumental during the 2008 financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. The US government relied heavily on BlackRock's expertise to manage bailout programs, and even central banks like the Federal Reserve have contracted them to buy up billions of dollars in assets to stabilize the market. With such involvement, one has to wonder, is BlackRock too big to fail, or is it too big to save? You may ask, what's the danger of a company having so much control? One word: debt. The modern economy runs on a staggering amount of debt, and BlackRock is deeply embedded in this system. If BlackRock were to falter, the shockwaves would be felt everywhere from Wall Street to Main Street. This brings us to a looming concern: the possibility of a global economic collapse driven by mismanagement at the top. To understand how this could happen, think about how tightly woven global markets are. The stock market, the bond market, and even real estate markets are all interconnected. When one major player like BlackRock stumbles, it doesn't just affect its investors. It can trigger a chain reaction, collapsing markets, and taking down other institutions in its wake. It's much like the 2008 financial crisis, but this time the stakes are even higher because BlackRock's influence is far greater. Now here's the next question: how close are we to witnessing this collapse? Some economists argue that the warning signs are already here. Inflation is spiraling out of control, interest rates are rising, and debt is ballooning at unsustainable levels. These factors combined create a perfect storm, and BlackRock's heavy reliance on leverage could be the tipping point. If a company of BlackRock's size begins to struggle, it could send shockwaves through the global markets, similar to the domino effect seen in previous economic crashes. But it's not just BlackRock's size and influence that pose a risk, there's also the issue of moral hazard. This happens when a company believes it's too big to fail because it expects the government to bail it out no matter what. BlackRock, having been involved in government rescue operations before, might take greater risks, thinking there's always a safety net. This type of behavior makes the system even more fragile. If BlackRock overextends itself in risky investments or bets on unsustainable debt, it could lead to a meltdown that no bailout can fix. The elites who control BlackRock and other financial institutions also play a key role in how this collapse could unfold. These are the people who move money on a global scale, and their decisions can make or break entire economies. When they prioritize short-term profits over long-term stability, they push the system to its breaking point. And unfortunately, history has shown us time and time again that when elites act in their own interest, the consequences for ordinary people can be devastating. It raises an important question: how much longer can the system hold before it breaks? So what can be done to prevent this potential collapse? One option is to break up companies like BlackRock, limiting their power and influence. Some argue that no single firm should have the kind of reach and control that BlackRock has. Others believe that governments and central banks need to step in with stricter regulations to prevent these companies from taking on too much risk. In conclusion, BlackRock and the financial elites wield an unprecedented amount of power over the global economy. While this influence has helped stabilize markets in the past, it also presents a significant risk. Could BlackRock and the elites be on the verge of collapsing the global economy? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed about the latest in global finance.